We are live and it's Thursday night. If you're watching this in the future, we are coming to you on Thursday, 29th of August. Hi, Evie.
Hello, Rachel.
How is it over there in Belgium?
It is nice, warm, and hot.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, a very pleasant finish of the summer, warm day and evening.
Oh,
The best.
beautiful. Hey, I invited you on. We
Mhm.
actually got to know each other through a class that I did, which was Xmen, 15-day discovery. That was it, was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And you were blown away by the information and you were like, hey, Rach, we require to get this out to the world way bigger.
yes.
And you were like, people required to know this information and who and what can we contribute. And then began this building of a beautiful relationship that's based on really seeing the beauty and the brilliance of X-Men. And even saying that, I'm like, ugh, like, so when we're talking about X-Men, we're talking about neurodivergence in all its forms: ADD, OCD, Asperger's, autism, all spectrums. And I would have made my difference very wrong, and I would have tried to like hide it, and I would
Mhm.
have seen my difference as a liability instead of very much a liability. And what's wrong with me, that I don't fit in, that I see things different.
Oh,
And
yeah. I'm sure it speaks to many of us.
yeah, and it actually, all these points of views actually created a lot of shite for me. Starting in my teenage years and then moving into my 20s, and teenager, like smoking weed because I didn't know how to cope with this world, and then drinking a lot of alcohol. I'm pretty sure I started drinking alcohol at like maybe 13, 12 or 13,
Mhm. Wow.
and which is like, when I look at that now, it's crazy. And I suppose the one thing that we both have in common is that we just kept going.
Yeah. That is a very great observation. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Um, how brave. Um, yeah, because I had a fair few times in my life where I was if this is it, I don't want it anymore.
Me too. Yeah.
Um, and
This is what life is. Like, what is it for? Like,
yeah, and there is something what you say with I'm like still discovering along with these tools and with the conversations I've been having with you in your classes because I also have been like using the tools of access consciousness 9 years now, and there is like such I don't even like it's so interesting because it's like hard for me to put it into words because it's like these tools reach you in it reaches your being in a way that I've never allowed myself to be touched before, and it has um, created like a level of intimacy with myself that I've always yearned for, and somehow like I gave it up.
you are wildly, so this is now whereby I just had a conversation with three other people in a class, about something called comfortable distance.
Oh,
And
oh, oh, go for it.
basically it's where you have this distance, like between you and yourself, between you and possibilities, between you and ease, between you and your brilliance. And so what Evie is talking about is like, we have these comfortable distances that are judgments, okay?
Yeah.
And so there's like, we think they're going to give us something, or they're going to keep someone at a certain distance, or they're going to keep me at a certain distance. And so when you're talking about like closeness, I I only got to like so much awareness about like if you got too close to me that I didn't have choice, or you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I was refusing close relationships because I thought if you got too close, because that's the justification of my excuse and reason, you know. Um, I refused relationships because I didn't know that you could have choice and healthy relationships as an X-Men in regard to what you would like to choose. And for me, particularly choosing beyond structures and beyond what is supposed to be a relationship, what is supposed to, and I get that when you say that you were craving true communion and true vulnerability and true intimacy, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I haven't seen that in our world. I hadn't seen true, um, I hadn't seen true communion and true intimacy, which is gratitude, which is trusting you, which is honoring you, not disrespecting you and judging you, which is allowance of you and really holding you in regard. Like, and I hadn't seen that exhibited anywhere.
Yeah, same. In nature.
Yeah, for sure. For sure in nature. What people know in nature, absolutely. And so here we are, these two wild beings that chose a body, and somewhere along the line we found each other. We had a need and tug, which is all energetic because it's all energetic for X-Men. And so Evie had a tug of like communion and true intimacy and honoring herself and trust and vulnerability. And then I had this, and so our reality is a very energetic reality. And this is the part I would say that can be most challenging for me, is that I seemed to not be able to get to choice when I was around other people's projections and expectations of me in what I was supposed to choose through their supposed way of living. And so the discovery of what would I like to choose and what's my life for was one that really begun when I recognized that I was just different and I looked at the world from a different perspective and I had different values to other people.
Wow. Wow. I realized within the last couple of months with your classes, like how much I have been like trying to find myself through other people's points of views, as like
How's that?
a way, yeah, as a way of like coping, and then like totally losing myself, and then and do comfortable distance, like
Yeah.
get out, leave me alone.
Oh
And
yeah.
like,
Brilliant.
and then trying to hide it, how ugly I am, convinced how wrong I am. These are like my potatoes in the oven. I'm gonna put my oven out.
Uh,
Yeah,
and
I
so
used all of my energy in hiding me.
can you pause there for a moment because it's so interesting. I would say that most of us do this. So you said that I didn't recognize until recently how I had this judgment of me that I'm wrong and that I'm ugly and that I had to keep people out. And I had the very same point of view. It's so weird. And it was this thing of like, you'll see how ugly I am because I'm different, you know, because I live different, because I have different values, because I have a different perspective, you know. And so as an X-Men, every word that you have bought into you're ugly because you're different, can you now please, this the access consciousness, destroy and uncreate that energy that you're destroying yourself with and killing your life force. And this is the access consciousness clearing statement. Check it out on accessconsciousnessclearingstatement.com. Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shorts, boys, bubbles and beyonds. And isn't it really like weird that we would have the point of view that there's something ugly because we function different? Like, what is that like, you know?
I can actually address that from my perspective. It's like when I'm looking at the conversation in the past, the Xmen conversations and the tools in the past months with you, there's like a lot of stuff that I didn't even, I never acknowledged it as my difference. It was just wrong.
Everywhere you think you're wrong, you're
strong.
Everywhere you think you're wrong, you're
strong.
She might have to hear it a billion times. I know that I did, because you find yourself in these places where you think you're wrong, and you said it beautifully. It was in my difference that I thought was the ugly, not the beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I suppose for me, I know we're inviting people to come on to the Xmen adventure. We've got the 15 days of discovery. We have an Xmen starting tomorrow. And there's plenty of, not plenty, but there's a few facilitators all over the world. We're not as big as what we'd like it to be. I suppose the big message, Evie, and the thing you've said to me that's changed things the most for you is recognizing that energy is your primary language.
Yes, yes, yes. Like, can I also add something else?
Of course.
What I thought, like, quite an important key as well for me, like using the tools of access consciousness, like now 9 years now, we get stronger, and our points when you're like stuck or like fixed, they get stronger as well. And I think you came in a point where I was like really using my own strength against me, at a point where you actually came at such a perfect time where it was, I was using it against me. I was using my own growing power against myself because I wasn't acknowledging the difference I am.
And I would say a lot of Xmen do that. We use our strength to push against and to fight against people because we've decided that we can't have ourselves through their projection. So then we push that away and we go against,
with a lot of power.
With a lot of power and a lot of energy, and that ends up feeling exhausted and not having a sense of strength. And so what if your strength and courage is in following the energy and knowing what works? I would say the most beautiful thing in the world is when I acknowledged how aware I am of other people's projections and expectations, and this is ongoing, I get to use the tools to get clear on,
yeah.
So I'll walk into a room and I'll be like, I'll be aware of everyone else's projections and expectations. And then before I would run away or I would fight against it, by being the loudest person in the room or proving myself or whatever tactics I had.
Wow.
These different coping mechanisms. And now it's more of like, well, what would I like to choose here? What energy would I like to have here? What would work for me? If I was including me, what would that look like? And it's just we have a class on discovered possibilities. It's just an unfolding discovery of self and the way that I function, and what I thought I was or who I thought I was is nothing to what is truly me. You know what I mean? Beyond definition, undefined. Yeah.
I'm discovering.
Yeah.
But yeah, already what I'm discovering is totally that. So much more energetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally. And so I'm going to finish tonight by asking you, Evie, what's your favorite tool? What's your favorite Xmen tool?
Oh, what am I perceiving?
Hey, awesome. I love it. So when Evie says, what am I perceiving? I feel sad. Okay, you could be driving past a graveyard.
And I go like so OCD.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what am I perceiving? Because you will perceive energies, you'll perceive sadness, you'll perceive beauty, you'll perceive it all. What am I perceiving? And I would say my favorite tool at the moment is all the energetic projections and expectations put on me, destroy and uncreate everything that I have decided that I have to buy into. Right and wrong, good and bad, put and pock, all nine shorts, boys, pose and meals. Yeah.
You gave a similar clearing in your last class, and I've been using it a lot, and it's amazing.
all the verbal and energetic projection
Yes, I
expectation.
love it. Yes.
Me too. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for
Thank you.
and thank you for supporting this movement of getting this information out, because we come with like so much misinformation and so many lies in regard to functionality with ourselves. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Or how is the emoji like this?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm grateful that you were brave enough and had the courage to stay. And now, what else is possible for both of us beyond anything we've ever even imagined, considered, conceived?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
This is
Bye, Rachel. Bye, everybody.
grateful. Well, bye, Evie. Bye.
Bye.